Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the University of Utah Skating Utes Game Day Live here on YouTube. Tonight we are here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex for the second installment of Your Skating Utes hosting the Oklahoma Sooners. Utah lost last night in a tough battle, 6-1. Oklahoma just came out firing early, got a couple of good goals, and just too much for the Utes to come back. My name is Ryan Jones. I'm joined here tonight by Jay Sewell, and in the second of this doubleheader, what do you want to see from the Utes to bounce back here tonight, maybe steal a W?
Well, I think what they have to do is play the way they played in the first period. Last night, the first period, they gave up the first goal in the first 2 minutes, and after that, they played a very tight game. They closed down the time and space. They covered the neutral zone really well. And after that, they went into the locker room. I think their spirits were pretty high, but something happened in the locker room, and they came out pretty flat. All night, it took them to the third period to sort out Babb. He put on a clinic last night in being calm, cool, collected, and very confident in his net.
And how do you want to see the Utes maybe shut down that Oklahoma offense tonight?
I think what they did last night in the first period, they've got to create that time and space. This team has always played better when they play a very, very tight game where they're physical. They have to have a physical presence tonight, and with only 3 games left in their schedule and their season, I don't know where that attitude is going to be, but we sure hope the spirits are high tonight, because this team can play with anybody when they want to.
All right, and so with that, we will turn it over to our good friend Matt Coma with the starting lineups and the singing of the national anthem. All right, so as we wait for puck drop, we will go ahead and read you the starters tonight for the Sooners. It will be number 7, O'Day, number 39, Lara, number 88, D'Souza, number 81 Wilson, and number 23 Volo. And between the pipes again tonight is going to be Babb with an excellent game last night, just letting up that 1 goal. And for your Skating Utes, we have Palo, Barnes, Light, Liebernight, Meyer, and Casper, who was scratched last night due to the flu, will be starting for the Skating Utes.
So, Ryan, one of the things last night that I thought was pretty interesting was that fourth line. What did you see?
Yeah, I think that fourth line was able to get out there and get some earn some key minutes. They were able to keep the puck down deep in the Sooner zone, and look forward for them to come out here again tonight and kind of relieve some of those first 3 lines from having to play too much.
Well, a good start by winning the faceoff, which is something that was rarely done last night by the Utes. So let's hope that they've had a little different take to it. Because if you show the other center the same thing every single time, you get read like a book.
And so Wyatt Light turning it over right there is now D'Souza moving it up for the Oklahoma Sooners. A little 3-on-3 puck moves back to D'Souza. He'll circle around, try to find a defenseman, and that's going to go back out. It's Boss with the puck. As he moves on, shot on Casper. Casper doesn't hold, moves it over to Petrie, who will move it up to Light. Light skating along the boards, gets a stick lift, and the puck will be turned back over towards the Sooners. Sooners moving right to left on your screen, wearing the gray jerseys and red helmets. The Utes with the white interlocking block U's and red helmets, black pants. There's a big hit there, but Petrie is able to get the puck out. Moves it over to Brett Meyer, who a soft backhand on Babb. Is Oklahoma with a little bit of room here. Here's Joyce streaking up the left side. Looks to move the puck into the middle. A couple of fancy moves and a nice save by Casper. It was Poussard on the chance there, as Odlin tries to flip it out, but the Sooners retain. It's Poussard.
One of the things that you hope to see tonight is that there's actually energy coming off that bench. You know, if you watch a junior team, they come flying off the bench, and this is pretty slow change for the Utes. So let's hope they pick their energy up.
Couple of good chances there, mixed with a couple of good saves by Casper as Poussard retreats into his zone, now finds Joy. Joy moves it over to the left for Wilson, off his right skate, now beating the defender. It was Bastone, and Casper just reaches out and grabs the puck. It looks like Wilson a little bit slow to get up for the Sooners.
Yeah, he could have gotten a tripping call there because he was taken into the boards and he had the stick between the legs, and sometimes they call that, but it must have looked at incidental, but he sure gave the referee a stare as he went skiing back up the ice.
So maybe Bastone gets away with one as we restart here. Utes are going to win the draw as they'll move it out. Puck intended for Beery, can't catch up to it, and now Volo starts it back for the Sooners. Puck moves into the Utah zone, but Barnes intercepts it, just plays it deep. It looks like no icing call here for the Utes, and Beery delivering a big check behind the net, welcoming himself into the game as Paulo turns the puck over, and here's some space. Shot just goes high of Casper. It was Pard on the chance for the Sooners.
Yeah, that was one thing that a year ago Beery in the offseason worked on really hard with his skating. He's always been a tough kid and has always gotten under the skin of the other team. He's pretty mouthy out there.
Perry with a big hit on Pard in the back behind the net. A pass goes through the slot. Now White, who opened up the scoring last night with the puck, moves it into the slot. Chance here. A nice little poke check there by Casper to keep the puck going from the slot, and now Perry, who had the lone goal for the Utes, will skate it across the red line, dump it in, and the Utes will elect to change.
Yeah, Perry had a good night last night. It was the first goal that this team has ever scored against Oklahoma in 3 contests in 2 years. So it's good to see Perry get light the lamp last night.
Bem will drop it for Del Casal, who turns the puck over to Urch as this fourth line that we talked about comes out here for the Utes. It's Hunter, Hauser, and Urch on the forwards, and Oklahoma just sitting back there. That is Boss with the puck. Now he'll move it out from behind Babb, but puck too far for the intended receiver, and Hauser plays it back. Urch on the forecheck for the Utes now.
This might earn these gentlemen some more zone time again and some playing time as they're doing their job keeping the puck 200 feet away from their net.
Del Casal now waits, and a good chance there. Shot goes high at Casper. Rims around the boards and out. Sooners are offside, so the Utes will have a little bit of chance to break the puck out. It's Navarez now moving up along this right side. He's got Hauser to his right. Navarez elects for a slap shot. Babb just turns it to the corner.
Yeah, the very good line change this time for the Utes.
Now the puck's being moved in by number 39, Lara. He goes down into the corner. Bastone gets to stick in the feet of Lara. Loses it, now recovers it. Now Meyer moving out behind Casper. Looking far to Light. Tape-to-tape pass. Light moves in. Fakes and shot. Goes high. Stays in the rink area. And now Light on the forecheck. Gets a nice turnover for Lieberknight. Lieberknight and Light working into the corner, but the Sooners are able to break it out.
Yeah, there was that sleeper again that Oklahoma is so good at all last night. They kept parking somebody all the way up against the D. Almost like if you were playing a soccer game where you've got that moving line and they're sitting right around the two defensemen right between them all night.
Giamona moves it over to his D partner, White, who moves it up to Lara just on the red line. Now Lara retreats back into the Sooner zone. Leaves it for White. White moves it up to Joy. Joy crossing the red line, a big sauce across ice. No real intended receiver as now Paolo moving it out for the Utes. He'll circle back behind Casper. Now moves it up the side. It was Odlin. Odlin tried to chip it out, couldn't. Now the puck finally comes out to Jerome, who gets stick lifted, puck in his feet.
Yeah, it's the worst place for the puck to ever be, isn't it? You don't dare look down, but there it is, and you know it's down there, but don't ever look. You're going to get pasted and blindsided.
Now Poussard with a chance here for the Sooners, moves in, met with multiple Utah players in a shot turned away by Casper as he moves from post to post. Now Topfest, nice little job there getting the puck out of the air. Now a one-on-one developing here. It's Wilson for the Sooners. Shot goes wide to Casper, and Casper will just stop play there.
Yeah, that one got through, but if you watch the first 6 minutes of this opening period, you can tell the confidence that Oklahoma has. They're patient. They're moving the puck. If they don't see what they want coming up the ice, they back up. They don't try to force the play. They move it back or side to side and then reset. Very smart hockey team, well-coached team.
Navarez moves the puck out. Beery gets a good stick on it and Leach moves it back deep into the Oklahoma zone. A stretch pass. Moves past its intended receiver. Now Petrie retreats into his zone, moves it alongside. They're going to go no icing there as the Sooners were in the middle of a change. White picks it up behind the back of the net. Beery with another big hit. Moves up to Joy. Joy is able to get the puck out, and it was Wilson trying for a big hit on Navarez but missed.
There you go, Wilson again, right around, hanging around the D. He was all the way up against the blue line. Again, for some reason, the Utah team, the Utes just can't seem to figure out that that's been happening to them now for 3 straight periods.
Sooners get a change and a neutral zone turnover as the puck goes way high in the air, does not hit the ceiling. So play still alive as puck comes back to Pard. Pard circles around in the neutral zone. He'll drop it to his D-man. They go D to D. Now it's White. White moves up. Stretch pass there intended for Lane. Doesn't get it, and it's going to be an icing.
So that was interesting. The puck went all the way up there. The refs actually saw that. So I'm not sure what they see other times, but they were able to see that puck, but they seem to be blinders on other times.
So a good start from both teams. Lots of end-to-end action here. Oklahoma definitely coming out strong. We mentioned last night they are right on the cusp of a Nationals berth, so everything is a must-win. As Meyer, great win on the face-off, and Lieberknight with a good chance there, but turned away by Babb.
Yeah, Babb saw that.
And a chance here for Light. Light, shot, scores! Light opens up the scoring. It was a good turnover, a good feed from Meyer, a little nice move, and a 5-hole goal for Wyatt Light. And the Utes are up 1-0.
Well, that's what we talked about pre-game is they got to get on the scoreboard first. If they can get on the scoreboard, they play always with way more confidence than they are when they're trying to come from behind. So maybe this is just the energy they needed, and I'm sure the bench over Oklahoma is wondering, okay, let's get it together and let's get this one back.
So for Wyatt Light, that's going to be goal number 12 on the season, as he now moves into 20 points. And the Utes are up 1-0, a good start for them. As play resets, it's Babb. Moves up, now Barnes. Barnes Long shot into the catching glove of Babb. He tried to play it, but the refs blow it dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's reffing today. I'm not. We didn't talk to them in the pregame, but both gentlemen wearing the orange armbands look at least 20 years younger than the two linesmen.
So it'll be Jerome, and he's got Topfest and Odlin on his line. Another win off the faceoff for the Utes.
What a difference it makes, right? When you win those faceoffs. I mean, we just could not do that last night. And now they've got that energy. When they get that control of the puck off the faceoff, they dictate the play rather than have the play come to them.
So the Utes starting hot here. The goal from Light, assisted by Brett Meyer. And now, as play resets, it's going to be an icing.
There you go. If you heard the announcer, that was Light from Meyer. So Meyer picks up a point in addition to Wyatt.
And another face-off win by Myers. He's moved back to center for tonight. You've seen him mostly premier on defense this year, but he is the leading point scorer for the Utes, so maybe trying to inject a little bit more offense for him, having him at that position now. As we reset, it's Lieberknight kind of skates over the puck, took a funny bounce.
Yeah, he expected that to come out in front of him, not alongside of him. That was a completely different setup.
As Navarez plays it deep, Light is the only forechecker for the Utes, as most elect to change, and now the Sooners will move it back out. And that was Wilson who got hit, and it's Light again, puts on the brakes, a little spin move. He's all alone, drops it for Perry, and Perry just skates right over the puck. A nice little setup by Light. And now D'Souza moving it in for Oklahoma. Down low to O'Day, back to D'Souza. Now up to Lara. Lara, blocker saved by Casper. Now back to Lara. Lara trying to cut into the slot. And then a shot gets blocked by some Utah defenders. Puck moves back out to Volo. And the Sooners will break in. It's Volo moving in and offside.
Yeah, just a one step in as getting a little anxious there. Again, I'm not sure how many times Oklahoma's had to play from behind this season, but you can tell where they're playing right now is completely different than when they played before that goal was scored at 16 something of the period. So
D'Souza wins the draw to Volo, who plays it into Casper. Casper with a little backhand and moved up but not out by the Utah defense. Now Bastone going down into the corner. He'll try to backhand it up to Beery, and it's Barnes, kicks it up to his stick. Now Barnes moving in along the right side, trying to wrap around. He doesn't really have a whole lot of help.
That's puck support is needed, but nice skate. There he is. There's the sleeper again.
And that's going to be Lara again moving in, but good defense there by Petrie to create the turnover as now. And that was Urch with a bad turnover, and a chance here and a shot saved by Casper. A shot coming from, I believe that was Del Casal.
Barnes having a little word with him about not tapping his goalie as he goes by. Same thing last night. We had a very clean first period. No penalties called at all, and as the game progressed, as we discussed, as the score widened in favor of Oklahoma, things got a little chippy. And so, there's still some scores to be settled this evening.
Puck moves out to the blue line, can't be kept in as Jerome now flips it in past the catching glove of number 22, Giamona, but Giamona will get the puck back out. Moved out to Petrie just along the red line. He'll send it in to Babb, who will stop it for White. Now White breaking out for the Sooners. He's got Joy to his left. Now Joy, shot and a good pad save and a rebound, scores by the Sooners.
That was just a bad line change, but congratulations to the Sooners. That was a really good setup they had. Again, we talked about it last night. One high, one low, one fast, one slow. And the slow high person was a person that ended up the puck on the stick, and all of a sudden it's behind Casper.
So as Wilson moving the puck from right to left to Joy. Joy with a good shot and a great initial stop by Casper off the left pad, but it was I believe it was Pard, number 9, who was able to put that rebound back into the back of the net, and we are tied 1-1 here. Restart. White moved the puck to Meyer. Meyer couldn't advance forward because the Utes were off sides. They tag up, and now Meyer with a good poke check there. Puck moves up to Lane for the Sooners. Good check by Meyer. Lane moves it behind Casper. And now there's Pard again. Pard shot and a great catch save by Casper.
Yeah, Casper's actually seeing the puck. That goal that just went in behind him really, he ended up being handcuffed. He's got 2 people coming in at him. He's got to choose one. Usually choose the shooter. And if a shooter makes a really good move like Joy does, they held Joy off the board last night. He's one of their momentum players for Oklahoma.
As the puck moves back to 56, Wilson. And now Petrie trying to move it out, cuts into the middle and is able to gain the red line and move it in. Shakes off a hit from Pard and gets the puck deep. Good forecheck here from the Utes. It's Perry. Perry trying to get it in front to Beery. Beery gets tied up and knocked down. Perry put it back through, intended for Beery, but Beery couldn't get up in time to get the backhand on it. Now moved up by the Sooners. It's Lane. Lane has a decent amount of space, but the pass intended for Lane into his skates, and now Barnes skating with the puck on his backhand, just tries to chip it up, but no help there. So now the Sooners with the puck, and Beery's going to get called for a trip here, just gets the stick into the skates of Poussard, and Beery will take the first penalty of the night at 8:26 remaining in the first.
Yeah, that was inadvertent. He was trying to do the poke check and just forced the stick forward at the wrong time, gets between the legs, gets the call, and now we'll see the power play unit come out for the Oklahoma and see if the penalty killers can keep them off the scoreboard and keep this game tight.
This Oklahoma Sooner special teams was out of control last night. They held the Utes scoreless on at least 5 chances on the penalty kill and had 1 power play goal last night. We'll see what they can do here as the puck moves back up to the top of the blue line for White. White will move it back down into the corner. Now Joy with it. Joy moves it back up to White. A pretty aggressive Utah penalty kill right now. And now Joy with a big slap shot. And another chance from Wilson, stopped by Casper.
And again, it's that taking away the time and space, not letting the Sooners set up and sending it all the way down the ice.
And a good clear here for the Utes as they will elect to change penalty killers. The Sooners keep that top line out as now Joy moving the puck in off the left side. He'll look to set up. He will leave it for a teammate. That's Wilson. Wilson now steps in. Shot gets blocked in front and cleared back down the ice by Meyer.
Yeah, so far they're putting on a good show for the penalty kill, and again, aggressiveness helps. Like they are right now, full court press has always worked for this team.
White to D'Souza, then to Boss. Boss is able to get it in deep, working against Meyer. Now Meyer's able to get the puck up, but held in by Lara, moves it across ice, and now cleared out by Petrie. So good penalty kill, 40 seconds remaining on Beery's penalty.
Yeah, nice aggressive forecheck and back checking for the Utes with 4-on-5 here.
Giamona now moves it into the middle, gives it back to Giamona. Now skating along that top blue line, moved over to Pard. Pard loses it, back to Giamona. Giamona takes a shot, saved by Casper. It looked like it was gonna find the back of the net, but Casper's able to glove it down and hold for a stop.
Yeah, that was puck was moving around on him a little bit, bounced inside his glove, and he was able to get the wickets closed so that he keep this off the scoreboard.
13 seconds remaining in Beery's penalty, 6:39 on the clock in the first. The Sooners out shooting the Utes 13-6. As we restart play here, puck is pinned to the corner now. Giamona goes D to D, and a shot wide open net for D'Souza. Sooner goal.
That was really good. Sooners leaving that trailer out there. And again, you've got a couple seconds to do something with it. The puck when it's on your stick. He found the open man, open net, nothing Casper could do. He was all the way on the other side.
So it's Giamona going D to Volo, and the shot from Volo, big rebound, and D'Souza with a wide open net extends this lead to 2-1 and releases Beery from the penalty box.
Yeah, you got to be happy with your D'Souza because there's nothing worse than missing on a shot like that when you have the whole net open. Here's Light again.
Light couldn't get anything going. This puck gets pinned along the boards. He's got Lieberknight to help. So puck resets, comes all the way out to the red line, and now another chance here for Wilson. Sends it high and wide. And there's Del Casal working with Wilson, moves up to White. White shot, there was traffic in front. Someone's bucket falls off, and we will have a stoppage in play. It's going to be Navarez without the helmet.
Yeah, you can't continue play if you don't have your glove on or your hat in this league, which is really smart. I mean, there's sticks and skates and lots going on, and it's not like the NHL where play goes on. Except for in the NHL, if a goalie loses any piece of his equipment, they will stop it. You know, when you got 100-mile-an-hour slap shots coming in, any piece of exposed area could be lethal.
So an offensive zone face-off for the Sooners. And the first line out here for the Utes. Won by the Sooners, it's Del Casal with a quick shot into the catching glove of Casper.
Yeah, you can see that there's a little bit of aggression here between both teams. There's lots of chirping going on. Last night they had to feel each other out in the first 40 minutes or so. But now, like I say, there's scores to be settled from last night's game already.
As play resets, it's boss to Del Casal, intercepted by Barnes here. As he'll go in deep, tries to chip it along the boards, and Boss and Barnes get tied up. Now Perry.
He's actually being held.
Shot from the point by Paolo, and a good save by Babb.
Yeah, that was, again, goalie positioning by Babb. He had no idea he was getting screened pretty well, but again, if you keep your ears open as a goalie, you can hear where it's coming from, and at that point, it's just, you know, there's 5 positions, each corner in front, and then the the 1 o'clock and the 11 o'clock position, and he was perfectly set up in position number 1.
Puck won by the Sooners. It's Wilson, moves it along to Volo. And back down to Wilson. Wilson being chased by Oblin. A good check there by Oblin. And now moved up a streaking Joy. Just a little bit too far for Joy as Bastone will intercept that pass and cycles back behind Casper. Leaves it for Petrie. Petrie now waiting to break the puck out. Looking for a little bit of help, puts it to the stick of Topfest. Topfest with a nice catch of that pass. It was kind of behind him. And Jerome working behind the net, turns the puck over to Wilson, and then another stretch pass here intended for Joy, but knocked down by Navarez. Like you've mentioned so many times before, really trying that stretch pass to Joy, who's got some wheels on him, as the puck will be called offside.
Yeah, that was almost borderline intentional offside. The ref was, or the linesman was yelling at them that they're offside, and they still touched the puck. Technically, this should be coming down into the D zone of Oklahoma, but apparently the linesman's electing not to do that.
D'Souza wins it back to White. He'll move it D to Giamona. Shot on Casper, turned aside. D'Souza keeps it in, rims it back around to O'Day. Now O'Day leaves it back for Lara. Lara leaves it for nobody as the Utes will now try to take the puck out. A pass behind Urch. Puck never gets out. Now Lara. Lara working with Urch on him. Puck comes out. Ref has the hand up for icing as Urch tries to beat it, but Giamona and White will secure the icing, so no change for the Utes.
Yeah, Urch, that's just a strength battle that you're not going to win. The only way you get those is if you can angle the player off and cut the time and space. So offensive face-off for the Sooners.
D'Souza wins it back to Lara. A quick shot gets hit off one of the Utah legs and turned aside to the Zamboni doors. Now Lara with a gloving of the puck. It's going to be a hand pass and moved all the way back out of the zone.
Yeah, it's a, you can tell the difference just in these first, 16, 17 minutes that the play that the Utes have when they win the face-off is completely different than when they lose it. When they lose it, they back up too quickly, and they get a little conflicted as to who needs to be where and who needs to cover who. And yeah, it's just it's funny because if you sit down by the bench, you don't hear the guys yelling mark, mark, mark as to who the player they're supposed to be marking when they come off. And I don't know why that skill hasn't been set into the bench.
As play resets, Utes losing another face-off, which allows the Sooners to set up here. It's White. Sends a pass down to the boards intended for Lara. Barnes with a good turnover here. He'll just chip it along, trying to get past White. White gets the best of him, but moves it in the skates of Perry. Now Beery squeezed off there by D'Souza. D'Souza with a good chip, but knocked down by the glove of Perry and kept in the zone. Two Sooners bump into each other, and puck moves out to Kinslow. Kinslow with just a little floater to Babb. Babb gloves it, but will keep it moving as he drops it to Giamona, who just stands behind the net. And another stretch pass here intended for Lane. Lane's gonna beat out the icing, a slap shot on Casper, but Casper with good position, and it was Light who was skating a little bit too fast. He was looking for that stretch pass to Meyer. Now the pass to Meyer gets chipped up and then to the Sooner zone, rimmed around by Boss. Up to Lane. Lane couldn't get it past Lieberknight, and now moved out by Pard. Pard will circle around. Still looking for a player, moves it to Boss. Boss gives it back to Pard. Number 9, Pard moving it D to D. And it's Navarez there that'll take the Sooner player. Turned over to Meyer. Meyer now cross ice pass to Light. He's got Petrie with him. A flip pass intended for Lieberknight, but ends up on Petrie. Petrie with a shot. Blocker saved by Babb. Now move back. Sooners move the puck up, but Meyer intercepts it in the neutral zone. Circles back and just lays a pass intended for Lieberknight. No icing as it was waved off. Now the Sooners, a stretch pass opportunity. He was looking for Lane. It was a smart play by number 14, Jerome, to cover that. Now Jerome with the chance here. Has a 3-on-3 developing. It's Jerome. Jerome moving in, drops it for Topfest. Shot gets blocked as it was Odlin streaking into that far post. Puck can't get deep, and now out to the neutral zone, it's Barnes. Has to wait for the Utes to clear the zone, now tries to move it in. Puck moved towards the Sooner bench, and a 3-on-3 going back the other way is just dumped down into the corner for Del Casal. The captain now for the Sooners, moving behind the net. Wraparound chance goes through the slot and harmfully onto the other side of the boards. Now White with the odd angle chance right into the chest protector of Casper.
Yeah, it's what you can see in the Sooners game, they definitely have a game plan and they actually are playing a system. And I'm not sure if I see any evidence of a system being played at all by Utah. They seem to be chasing the game here since that second goal was scored. You can see everybody watching the puck coming up ice. Nobody's running to the open spaces. They're just coming up in a line, which is like the easiest thing in the world to defend.
Another face-off win by the Sooners as 60 seconds left in the period, announced by Matt Coma here. As the Sooners trying to get one last chance. It's Volo shot through traffic. Casper with a nice save and then chipped back through and moved back into the slot. Is turned over to Lieberknight. Now Lieberknight chips it along, and Light with a one-on-one chance here. Light tries to cut in, but a good defensive play by Volo as Light was stifled there. Now Lieberknight gets hit into the boards and turns the puck over. Just 30 seconds to go here. Sooners will skate around now. Pass intended for Joy is going to be called icing.
That was pretty close.
That was pretty close. I thought Joy maybe beat Bastogne, but maybe they were saying Navarez got back there to secure the icing for the Utes. With 18.2 to go in this first period, Sooners up 2-1, out-shooting the Utes 20-10 tonight. So a little bit different story with the shots department tonight for the Sooners.
Yeah, it's again, I hate to say it, but Utah is just chasing the game right now. They're just not. They're not organized. Here again, they just have not been able to figure out this, leaving these forwards unprotected all the way down in their own zone. It's just been all night long.
as time will tick off the clock. That's going to be the buzzer. So 2-1 your score at the end of the first. The scoring was opened up by light assist from Brett Meyer, and then it was Hard who scored for the Sooners, and then made 2-1 by D'Souza on that big empty net shot there. So moving into the second period, how do you think the Utes are going to bounce back from this?
Well, I don't know what the Utes are going to do in the locker room, but whatever's going on the bench, they're not telling the players to watch for that sleeper. There's been somebody coming up literally on the left-hand side all night long, and you can see for whatever reason, because they've got those left-hand shots on that side, they're letting it run up the board, and they're passing it over to their left-hand shots over on the right side, which is opening up the ice a ton. And that's something that I'm not sure why they can't pick that up. Maybe they've got a different scheme that they actually want to go forward quicker, but that's something they've got to do. And the next thing they got to do, they just got to play tougher. Lights had opened up the scoring. He's had some chances, but the lad, he's a freshman. He's getting a little excited. He's left the puck behind him now 3 times.
And if you're in the Oklahoma Sooner locker room, what do you think the conversations that they're having in there?
I think what Oklahoma is doing again is play your game. If they're not going to pick up that sleeper, let's play that all night long. That play used to be called blue. You used to use blue on the ice, which meant one of your forwards, right or left, whoever was playing on the bench, would go up towards the blue line, and that's all it was. You put somebody behind there, and again, if at some point you could have to say, look, if they're going to keep puck watching, let's just flood the zone, and someone will always be open, because when they send 3 people up the right or left side, all 5 of the Utah players concentrate on those 3, and there's always 2 people trailing.
All right, so just a first period recap. Once again, Sooners up 2-1 on your Utes, currently out shooting the Utes 21-10. We thank you for joining with us. We will be back in about 15 or so minutes here for the second period. Stay with us here on University of Utah Hockey Game Day, live on YouTube.
All right. We're here in this interim period between the first and second period, and we've got Sophia here with us. And Sophia, you were part of the junior program here in Utah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened today?
Well, I had a game today versus the Pee Wee Panthers, and we had a very good game.
So what was it? What ended up to be the score?
4-4.
4-4, so it was a tie game?
Yes.
So in your league in Pee Wee, what happens in a 4-4 tie? Is that how the way the game ends, or do you try a shootout?
It just ends that way.
Okay, so how long have you, tell me about your hockey career. How did you actually get interested in the game?
I went and saw a game, and it was a lot of fun, and I decided that I would love to actually play a game.
Yeah.
So I was pleading my mom to let me play, and I got into a learning program, which was awesome. And then 2 years ago, I had my first time playing.
Oh, really?
And I was a player as a substitute goalie.
Okay, so are you playing in goal now?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your favorite brand of equipment when you're in goal? What do you like?
I don't know.
Are you wearing Eagle or Bauer or what? Or O'Brien's?
Right now, I'm wearing Reebok.
Oh, you're wearing Reebok.
but my favorite is Brian's.
Oh, what do you like about the Bryans over Reebok?
They're comfortable.
Really?
Yes.
So there's all sorts of different styles when you're a goalie. So when you're in the butterfly, do you like your straps to be tight or loose on the back of your legs?
They need to be a little bit looser so
Okay.
that you can kind of like flex and move easier.
Okay. And were you in goal today?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about the 4 shots that got by you. It's never the goalie's fault. I want to tell you that. I had a goalie son, and I know about that because there's 5 other players on the ice. So what happened in the first one?
Well, in the first period, they got 2 goals on me. The first goal was actually because I wasn't aligned to the player and the puck.
Okay, squaring up.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the second goal, it just went over my glove and I missed it.
Oh, that's tough. They come in pretty fast, don't they?
Yes.
So when you're actually in goal, what kind of training have you had off the ice? Do you do anything off the ice with anyone?
Yeah, my dad is kind of my goalie coach.
Okay.
So I had done speed skating, so I kind of know. I've known how to skate for a long time, and I've gotten really good at skating.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having a lot of fun skating. So my dad has kind of had me practicing, trying to start doing the splits and stuff, because that would help me as a goaltender to be able to do butterfly and reach farther in the crease.
Yeah, that's one of those things that the goalie gets to play the whole game. I bet you like that. You never have to come off the ice. So when you're in the net and you're doing the butterfly, are you someone that backs up a little bit, or you come out and challenge the shooter?
I like to stand up, but I also can sit down.
Okay.
And like go into the butterfly position.
Sure. Cover as much of the bottom as you can.
Yes, and I do challenge, and then I move. I'm fairly good at moving.
Are you good from pushing from post to post?
Yeah.
That's really good skill. So in the summertime, do you play in the summer, or are you just in the driveway shooting pucks?
Well, I did get a hockey net for Christmas, so I'm going to practice shooting pucks.
There you go.
But I'm going to a hockey camp in July, and I'm really excited.
Which hockey camp are you going to?
LA Kings in Park
LA
City.
Kings. Oh, wow, that's right. They come up here.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Okanagan Hockey School up in Penticton?
No.
No, that's a really good one. You should talk to your parents about that.
Okay.
Get up into Canada. So how's the team doing this year?
We're doing fairly well. We had a good winning streak, but the last game, we didn't quite get it. We didn't quite win. It was a 1-0.
Okay. A
loss.
tight fought game, yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of our enemies, but not really our enemies.
Okay.
But
So how is it to be, did your parents talk about anything about you being a goalie? Because when I was a goalie parent, it seemed like the last 5 minutes was always played in your zone.
Well, my dad reviews the games with me, and they're like, are you sure you... Well, last year they were like, are you sure you want to be a goalie and commit to that? And I'm like, yeah, I like being a goalie.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, are you wearing a mask with the cage, or do you have the actual cat eye?
I just have the goalie helmet. I don't have cat eye.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's some controversy there whether junior players should have a cat eye or they should wear the cage. So
I just wear the normal cage,
So-
but the normal goalie helmet.
So now that you're on the air, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yes.
Very good, very good. So have you watched him on TV? Have you gotten down to Las Vegas to see a game?
No.
So is that a goal?
Yes, that is a big goal for
So
me.
what is your bucket list in hockey? Here you are, you're playing in Pee Wee. Next move is Bantam. Are you playing on a mixed team or an all-girls team?
Mixed team.
Mixed
I'm
team.
the only girl on my team, though.
You're the only
so
girl. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Girl power. I like that. So who's all here with you tonight?
My grandpa, my dad, and my mom.
Perfect. And what brought you out tonight? Why did you want to come to the game?
Because I like watching the college that I'm hopefully going to come to.
So let's see. Who are you wearing tonight?
Urch.
You're wearing Urch. Did you see him play tonight? He's doing pretty well, isn't he? Yeah. Lots of freshmen on this team. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We're very glad to have you on the air. Good luck to you and your team. So what's next for the team? Or is there a playoff at all that's coming up?
No, we're just going to have 2 more games.
Okay.
And I'm very excited.
Oh, good for you. Well, congratulations, Sophia. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Thank you.
Welcome.
You did great. Thank you.
It was fun.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the second period of action here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. The Sooners leading your hometown Utes 2-1 so far in the contest, out shooting the Utes 21-10. Utes looking to get back on the scoreboard and even this game up. What are you looking for the Utes to start out with?
Well, they started out getting that all-crucial first goal, and then the tie-up wasn't too bad when Oklahoma evened it up. But that second goal was what we were talking about right at the end of the first period, where for whatever reason the Utes tonight seem to be puck watching. I don't know if it's that this is the first of the last three games. Some of these seniors, you got Barnes, you got I'm not sure who else. Maybe Meyer is out. And again, I don't remember where the eligibility is because they moved the rules again from 4 to 5. But
right.
It's just, they just, let's just bring the intensity. Let's have some pride, and maybe that's what the coach told them. But I'm just wondering if they were able to pick up that what we can see up here. And I apologize to anybody out there in the audience, but it is a much easier game to play from here than it is down on the ice.
It certainly is. And I think that was a big key for me coming into this weekend was knowing guys like Barnes. We know that, Beery came back as kind of a special occasion for this, or a special circumstance for his final semester. We'll see if guys, even with that fifth year, graduating in 4 years, who's going to come back. And I think if you're the Utes, it's about playing for pride. It's about playing for next year and kind of setting the tone for those younger guys, how this program was built to move up from that D2 to D1 level with the success that they've had. So we'll see if that Utah pride comes out playing for that.
We got Paulo, Liebernight, Urch, Light, Jerome. There's Bastoni, Tautfest. These are all rookies, and so that bodes well. I mean, these kids have been able to play all year.
Right. As we restart now, Utes working right to left, puck in their zone. Barnes is going to try to move it over to Liebernight, can't. Now back in by Volo. Gets tripped up there. Puck comes all the way back around to White and moved along. Now D pass to Volo. Volo's going to lay it back up, but intercepted by Meyer. Meyer's got Light to his right. Meyer's shot goes high, up and out of play.
Yeah, he gave Bab a good look, but it was a good shot. You could see him going for that upper left corner of Bab, and just a little too much on the backhand, lifted that puck up and over.
The second line comes out for the Utes. It'll be Jerome on the offensive faceoff. One back to Odlin, who will backhand it back behind the net to Jerome, a little bit too far, and now Boss moving it back up. Boss streaks alongside. Puck gets into the zone off of the lineman. A fake slap shot there by Wilson gets tied up by a number of Utes players, mainly Navarez, who now moves it back up to Joy. Drops it back down to Poussard. Moved along into the slot here. A chance kick save by Casper. And now Navarez trying to take it out himself. Can't. Turnover. Joy with a little bit of stick work, but a nice job by Tautfest there, matching up. And now Joy has got a player on the backside. He was looking for Boss, couldn't get it there. Now back, Boss working behind the net of Casper's. Thrown in front, and a good save by Casper, poked away. And Navarez will now get the puck. He's going to move back around. Puck will come all the way around, and Odlin is finally going to be able to get the puck out. So a couple of turnovers by the Utes leading to some good chances, and finally that Utah line will get a change.
Yeah, it's interesting all the way from when you go Hockey 1 and mites and everything, how many times coaches preach about not bringing it up in the middle of the ice in the defensive zone, all the way from the NHL all the way down to 4 or 5 year old kids. That mistake is made on a continuous basis. Just put it up the board's the safest place, but somehow that something escapes in the heat of the battle.
Now Finch working with the puck behind the net of Casper. He's going to send it around. Took a favorite of Utah bounce, and they're able to move it back out. It's Del Casal now. Moves it over to Bem. Now in for Finch. Finch gets checked, and a shot stopped by Casper, poked out into the slot. Thankfully, no Sooner player there, as now Matthew Perry scored last night. His shot gets blocked by the Sooner defense. and now restarted back along the ice. It's Beery giving chase, and a Bastone hip check goes missed. Pass through the middle, doesn't get there. Now Bam with a shot, high and wide. Now Wilson with a chance, gets blocked by Beery and into the corner, moved back up and kept in by Lane on the point. Now moved up right off the top of the glass there, but stays in as the Sooners now setting up their offense. A shot from the point gets blocked into the corner. Now out in front again, and a good save by Casper.
It's looking like a power play for Oklahoma, and then that's off.
Yeah, just what the Utes needed there. It looks like they will be allowed to change, but a lot of Sooner pressure here to start out this second period, 3 minutes into it.
This was all set up with that zone time that the Sooners had by not covering and playing all three zones. They did not. Utah failed to play the neutral zone. If you notice, as soon as the Sooners came over their own blue line, the Utes defense was already on our blue line, never challenging the play, never making them stand up, and then they ended up being on defense, literally and figuratively, for almost a minute and a half.
Meyer gets thrown out of the circle here, and Lieberknight will come in to take the draw against Pard. Puck won by the Sooners. It's Jolly. Jolly now leaves it back for Pard. Shot, or excuse me, that was number 14, Lane with the shot, and an easy save for Casper.
Again, if you can't win that face-off, you're going to be playing, and I can't tell you how hard and tiring it is to play defense all night long.
As Meyer is allowed to take that face-off, he will win it. So Meyer's been successful, basically the only successful centerman for the Utes tonight. As Lieberknight moves it back to Meyer. Meyer shakes off a check, now streaking in, tries a little dipsy doodle to protect the puck, and is able just to cycle it around to Lieberknight. Lieberknight with a little behind the legs pass to Light. Now Light circling up and moves it out, just trying to reset.
Nowhere to go. I don't know what happened to the defenseman, but they abandoned their post.
I believe that was David Barnes who was supposed to be covering that side. Now Barnes leaves it back to Light. Bad turnover there by now Jolly with a chance. Just backhands it wide. Puck up to White. White with a big slap shot and a glove save by Casper. So another offensive zone turnover, but Casper bailing out this Utes defense.
Yeah, so far, we've got, we're 4 minutes into the second period, and Oklahoma clearly has a mastery of this, the start of the second period.
Yeah, so far 7 shots on goal for the Sooners. Shot goes wide, did not make it 8. No shots on goal for the Utes so far, as the Utes offense looking to wake up here as it's Odlin streaking into the zone, just protects the puck to get it around behind the net of Babb.
Oh, we got horse collared, no call.
And the Sooners will move it back up. Puck is chipped up but not out. It's Odlin with a good stick check to keep it in. Now Topfest. Topfest circling, looking for some help, moves it along the end zone or end line to Jerome. Jerome up to Petrie. Petrie shot but no traffic in front. Easy save by Babb right into the catching glove.
Yeah, it's again, we have various levels of compete going on here by Utah players. Some of these freshmen are battling really hard. They know they've got, no position is safe. You got to be able to make the team, and with all the injuries, they're getting so much playing time, and I think you get used to that. You like being on the ice and want to play, so this is really good for these young players.
Lara gets the puck up to O'Day. O'Day trying to cut to the net, couldn't. Moves the puck up to White, now back to Lara, trying to move into the slot, but Utah is able to get the puck out. It's Topfest moving it up now to Jerome. Jerome pass back, intended for Topfest, couldn't find him. And a good move here by D'Souza. He's got a teammate there intended for O'Day, just a little bit too much sauce as a 2-on-0 there. Utes lucky, and now Volo trying to sneak back door there with the post. Puck gets flipped up and back into the Sooner defense. Now Volo. Volo with a stretch pass a little bit too high for Poussard, who started off the scoring for the Sooners earlier in the game. Now puck moved to Hauser. Hauser will flip it into Babb. Babb just smartly covers it. Hauser with a little bit of a spray on Babb. And it's the assistant captain, Volo, who make sure he's keeping himself in check.
Yeah, that in some situations, if the ref deems that spraying the goalie, you can get unsportsman, but that was pretty harmless.
So Hauser will take the draw for the Utes. It's one back to Boss. Now moving up to Joy. Joy has Wilson with him. Now over to Poussard. Good stick check there by the Utes as they'll get the puck out of the zone, but can't get it deep. Now it's Joy again. Tries to go through Hauser, but Hauser was able to use the skate to stop him from advancing. Now back up to Poussard. Utes with the puck, a stretch pass, gets right into the breezers of Boss. Now with Joy, trying to move it over to the slot, but knocked away by Bastone. He'll flip it up and out of play. Utes not allowed to change.
Well, there you go, Jonesy. I have not heard the word breezer since my days of Minnesota. That's technically what they're called. For whatever reason, they're called hockey pants, just like I've never figured out why they call them snow machines in Alaska when they're actually snowmobiles.
So this fourth line out for the Utes. Getting some significant time again. We were pretty impressed with their play last night, but they lose the draw here. And a pass intended for Del Casal. Now it's Wilson up at the point. Shot gets blocked by Urch and moved over to Volo. Volo with a long shot gets deflected up and out of play. Utes will be allowed to change.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the Utes. When you get into that situation, if we had the ability to stop and go back and replay this play, they're constantly getting in trouble by spacing out. When you're collapsing like that, there should be 4 people creating a box at that point around the goalie, keeping anybody from coming up the center. But they're all playing individually right now. They're not playing like a team.
Puck's going to go all the way down into the zone for the Sooners. Wilson moves it D to D and stretch pass up to intended for Del Casal, intercepted by Barnes. Beery has to check himself at the blue line, so Barnes just lays it up into the corner. Now moved around by the Sooners. It's Wilson. He gets stick checked, but the Sooners will keep it. It's Volo now moving it to his left, and a good stick check by Petrie. And the Sooners will change as Navarez gets the puck, moves it over to Kinslow. Kinslow with his back turned, just tries to send it deep, but can't. Intercepted by Jolly. Jolly now working against Navarez. Navarez takes a pretty good angle and is able to win that puck battle, moving it to Kinslow. Now pinned along the boards there. Perry with a little bit of space, moves it out towards the red line, and he'll just send it in. Utes elect to change. Now it's Jolly moving it up for the Sooners. Drops it back to Pard. Pard shot saved by Casper. Rebound controlled by Lieberknight. Lieberknight stretch pass here to Light. Light, who's got some speed, trying to move in. Shot just goes wide. I think that Babb was able to get a piece of that as Meyer corrals the puck, moves it back D to Petrie. Petrie up to Lieberknight. Lieberknight couldn't get a stick on it. It's going to be icing.
Yeah, so you can see the difference in how the bench is being managed tonight than it was last night. For whatever reason, I'm sure Brett Hurst, head coach, has his reasons, but he's shortened his bench already. We've got a long way to go. We've got more than half a hockey game to play. The best line, other than the first line last night, was the fourth line. We haven't seen the fourth line in the second period. So I'm not sure what game he's watching. But maybe he has his reasons, but with 3 games left, let that fourth line get out there, rest that first and second line.
So Meyer now working behind, moves it up to Lieberknight. Lieberknight with a little bit of help from Light, pass intended to him, goes wide. Now Boss moving it back in for the Sooners.
So you can see how tired that first line is. None of them came out of the zone on that rush. They were all hanging back. They're already tired.
The icing does not help that first line as they were not allowed to change, and Sooners with some fresh legs. Puck intended in the slot there for Jolly. And he'll keep it along that end boards. Now Light just flips it along to Lieberknight. Lieberknight with a one-on-one chance.
He's
trying
gassed,
to move it out to Petrie, but like you said, long shift for this first line as some of them are getting out to change. Now Petrie and Meyer head towards the bench. Boss flips it up and out. Paulo is not able to keep that puck down. Now Barnes just sends it hard around. And I think we're going to get a too many men call. Barnes was able.
Yep.
Barnes shot that puck around hard right towards that Sooner bench and just brought it right to the attention of the linesman there, who's going to call for too many men on the ice. So a power play chance for the Utes, unable to convert last night, but their first chance here tonight on special teams.
Yeah, again, I don't know. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Here again, short bench. It was fun to see a different approach to the game last night, although it was a blowout by this time. But yeah, there's guys sitting there that have fresh legs. You need to put them out for at least 40 seconds. They've done a masterful job of keeping the puck away to. That 40 seconds can be all it means to Light and Lieberknight, Meyer, and Petrie.
Perry gets checked down. Sooners retain the puck. Puck will get flipped up but not out, and now it will, as the Utes will circle back and try a neutral zone breakout here. It's Paulo, pass intended for Odlin, ends up finding. That's Wyatt Light back on the ice. He'll move it up up to the defense, Paulo.
Well, that one got through. That was good.
Now Barnes with a chance here, fires it into no man's land. Just a rolling puck for Barnes. Now moved over to Light. Light will backhand it up to Paulo. Paulo with a little bit of space. Shot, good tip there by Odlin, but a better save by Babb. Now Barnes. Barnes with a shot. Blocker save by Babb, up and out of play. 1:05 left to go on this Utes power play.
Yeah, that was a much better setup, and they showed patience, but yet they realized they've got to start putting the puck on the net, and that's what they really got to do here. They got to get more pucks on Babb. He's a master at being positioning, but you got to get him moving side to side. You just can't come in over the blue line and flip it at him. You're going to have to get him from going from left to right and right to left.
Sooners win the face-off. Boss tries to flip it out of the zone, but a good stick by Jerome keeps it in. He'll move it down to the corner to Light. Light now moves it all the way up to Petrie. Petrie with a little bit of trouble with it, but keeps it in, sends it down to those Zamboni doors, where it'll go to Lieberknight. Back up to Petrie. Petrie D to D to Meyer. Meyer back over. Pass was, I believe, going back door to Light, but was off a Sooner stick. Now Light up to Petrie. Petrie back to Light. Light back to Petrie. Back to Light. Now cross ice to Meyer. Meyer looks for a shot. Gets blocked by Boss. A great block there, but Boss can't clear it out of the zone. He'll move it down to Jerome. Jerome, centering chance here to Lieberknight, but just into the skates, not to the stick, so Lieberknight can't get the shot off. Now Light moves it back up to Petrie. Just 10 to go on the power play. Petrie's shot gets blocked by Lieberknight, and puck comes back out. Only 5 seconds left to go. Petrie plays it up towards the penalty box. Now Meyer. Joy is out of the box for the Sooners. So another penalty kill for the Sooners. They've been perfect so far on the trip, as an offside will stop play with 8:42 left to go in the second period.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I'm not sure that was offside, but we'll give them benefit of the doubt. We're at a different angle here than directly on the blue line like the linesman is.
Jerome was pretty slow to get off. It was definitely offside. But we will reset here. So Utes, once again, unsuccessful. What kind of changes you think that the Utes will make on that power play unit, if any?
Well, again, they're putting somebody in front, but the person in front is just battling them, and all that does is tie you up. You actually have to, as that person that's going to be sitting in front of the net, you got to be moving all the time. You can't stand in place. You got to keep the defender moving to open up that time and space, and you just can't wrestle with them. That's a easy defense if you're just going to sit there and hold hands.
So it was White and Joy right there working for the Sooners to create a couple of good chances. Now a 3-on-2 developing for the Utes. Puck being moved in towards the skates of Beery, I believe. Puck loose in front and comes all the way out with a good effort from Joy on defense, getting that puck out, and a very dangerous play by Odlin. Gets it over to Bastone, who will now take it in. He's got Urch and Kinslow with him. Gets the puck deep, and now Volo for the Sooners. Moves the puck up, intercepted by Reed. Hunter now moved across. Paolo shakes off a defender. Puck goes up near the scoreboard and out of play.
Yeah, I actually saw Reed out there from the fourth line.
Yeah, so Coach Hurst getting that fourth line some more minutes here. They have their D pairing is going to be Paolo and Barnes for the offensive draw. It's Hauser working against number 88, D'Souza, who had the second goal for the Sooners.
We're waiting for something on there. Oh, they're just going to get tossed out of the circle.
And so that was number 39, Lara, who's taking the draw now. Puck gets moved back around to Boss. He'll move it up to O'Day. O'Day up to Lara, but now Barnes finds it, flips it along the boards, back to Boss, back to Barnes. Barnes sends it all the way down. No icing call.
That was interesting. Oh, got a shot on goal too.
Chance here, and Hunter can't get a stick on it. Gets a big check from Boss. Now Urch with a big check. I think Urch is going to go to the box, getting his hands a little bit too high. We'll see what the actual call is going to be.
Yeah, I was chatting with both guys. I've always wondered why these refs talk to these gentlemen like this. It's not a teachable moment by any means. When you're heading to the box, you're tuning that guy out. And I think that was one of the most alarming things that I found out. Someone's getting, it's offsetting penalties.
So Giamona is going to go to the box for the Sooners for a hold. Urch is going to go for an elbow. So we're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey here for 2 minutes, 7 minutes left to go. Sooners doubling up shots right now, 31-16 on the Utes.
Yeah, a couple of summers ago, we had two Utah players go to their reffing school. There were about 40 people there. They were the only two hockey players amongst the 40 people trying out for ref. I'm not sure how you can be a referee without ever having to touch the ice as a player at some point.
So 4-on-4 hockey here for both teams. That's number 26. That's White, the goal scorer in last night's game, or opening goal scorer, I should say. Many Sooners getting on the board last night as Myers able to get the puck out. Now Navarez, 3-on-2, kind of hesitated on the slap shot. Puck goes wide and off the back of the net. Navarez with a receiving a check there. It looked like whoever checked him, I think it was White, looks more hurt than Navarez does.
Yeah, the guy came in to battle him, and he didn't realize that the butt end of White's stick or light stick was right there, and he took her right in the neck.
So stoppage of play here. Utes will elect to change their four. Sooners elect to change their defensemen.
Yeah, and they're resetting the net too. It came off his moorings one more time. So the puck coming out of the zone on this. So we're going to have a face-off right outside the offensive zone for the Utes.
Sooners win the draw. It's Wilson moves it back to his D partner Boss as they set up their breakout. Moves it over to Pusar. Puck intended to go back to Wilson. Moves all the way back to Boss. He'll go D to D behind the net to Wilson. Moves it to his left to Pusar. Now
2-on-1.
2-on-1 developing. Wilson stays onside. Shot and scores. What a snipe from Boss. Just right over that shoulder of Casper, and just nothing he can really do there. Great goal by Boss.
Yeah, quick hands by Boss. He's got good size to him, and sometimes they always say in hockey, for a big man, it's sometimes hard, but he definitely was able to wire that puck and caught Casper sleeping a little bit.
So I think Pusar will get his second point of the night, as he will most likely be credited with that assist. And just a fantastic shot by Boss. Now 3-1. We are still 4-on-4. And they do credit Pusar with his assist. So second point of the night for him is now Pard works in on Paulo. Puck dropped, intended for White. Now Meyer with a little bit of speed. Meyer with a chance. And it was, I think, good defense there by Joy, getting a stick on Myers. good back check by him. Now White working in on the Utah defense. Sends it down low to Joy. Meyer will pick that puck up again off the backhand, and it looks like a penalty.
There are two sets of things going on. The ref saw the one in the back, and they let the one right by the bench. They'll call him a bench go, where he slashed him about 5 times. Slashed the stick right out of his hands. That's an automatic penalty, but again, if the ref's not going to see it, there's nothing the linesman can do.
So Barnes is going to the box. We'll see what the call is in just a second here, but it looks like the Utes will go on the penalty kill on a 4-on-3 for 18 seconds. Barnes will most likely sit for 2. We'll see if they are going to take an Oklahoma player. It looks like they are.
Yep.
We'll see who this is. That's going to be White taking a penalty for the Sooners. So White and Barnes go into the box at the same time. We will see what our head referee has to call here as they discuss with the linesman and the captain, Del Casal.
Yeah, a little chatting going on here.
Barnes will take a slash. White's going to take a slash as well. And White's going to double up on the slash.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of slashing going on over there. And again, the game within the game. You take a number, and you know, how many times have we said this? It's an Old Testament game. Looks like they were going to get a power play out of this. There's another gentleman going to the box here for Oklahoma. Let's see who that is. That's Pard is in the box now also. So we've got three gentlemen. Let's see, there's room for maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 or 6 more.
So it's a party in the sin bin for the Sooners. 4-on-3 chance here for the Utes.
There's a lot of lights up on that leaderboard right now.
Certainly is. Jerome loses the draw. Meyer's able to tie up. It was 91. That's Finch. A little bit of drawing going on now. Light with a little bit of space. Light shot. Blocker save by Babb. Puck gets fired around hard all the way back down. Giamona being released from the box. So 4-on-4 here for the Utes. Or excuse me, 5-on-4 here for the Utes. One of them was electing to change. So a power play for them for 1:30.
Another big hook.
Meyer comes out of the scrum with the puck. Moving to his left. He's got a little bit of help. Tries to move it through the legs of Boss, but good defense there.
Bastoni was actually offside on that. Even the refs were watching the game.
So Light moved it back to Paolo. Now Meyer will lay it in for Jerome. It's going to be delayed offside, so Utes will have to tag up. Puck coming all the way back. Just 1 minute left on the Utah power play. It's Paolo up to Lieberknight. Lieberknight on his backhand trying to enter the zone. Moves it back to Paolo. Paolo's thrown it through the middle. Nobody really there, but Odlin's able to keep it in. Odlin with some stick work, trying to move it down low. Gets his pocket picked by D'Souza, who moves it out. Puck coming towards that Utah bench. Utah has the bench door open, looking for a change. It's Beery coming onto the ice now, as Boss gets it up high off the glass, all the way back down to Casper. Just 20 seconds remaining on that Utah power play.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get through the neutral zone the way they want to. They're wasting a lot of time here trying to set this play up.
Now just 10 seconds. So, and pass intended for Odlin. It's going to be a turnover. Wilson comes out of the scrum with the puck. Penalty time up as White is released from the box. So Utah spending a little bit too much time in their own zone. Waste that last 30 seconds or so of the power play as Wilson is helped with O'Day working to pin that back on the back end. O'Day lost his stick in the jersey of Bastone. Now being helped by Joy. Puck comes out to center.
That was a big hack. No call.
No call there. It was Joy who got his stick in the feet of Paolo. Fans don't like it here, but play goes on. Now O'Day along the corner. Back down to Paolo. Just 2:45 left to go. Pass intended for Beery. He's going to elect to change. Stretch pass look here. Moves it up to Joy. Joy gets a stick on it, so no ice. Now Poussard in the back of the net. Puck comes up and out, and it's going to be corralled by Volo. Volo's got a chance here for a stretch pass by Poussard. Didn't get a stick on that one, so we are going to get an ice.
We're going to get a penalty here on Utah.
So behind the play, that's looks like they're going to call Top Fest.
Yeah, he's just he's skating to the bench
trying
if
to
he
play
can sneak
innocent.
away. Yeah, you talking to me? You talking to me?
So Top Fest is going to go for a slash behind the play. That's going to negate the icing by the Sooners, and they will go on the power play for the final two minutes here. 2:19 left to go. Top Fest sits for 2 for a slash. Shot still 31-16 in favor of the Sooners, as the refs have a discussion about where the puck should be dropped.
Well, it's got to be in the Utah defensive zone, but they're going to call it outside. So
maybe because of the icing.
Could have been due to the icing.
Puck won by the Sooners, and Poussard and Petrie have a big whack at it. Puck comes out as we have some fans racing for the free souvenir up here.
Little couple of golf shots there, trying to get that mulligan.
So an offensive zone face-off for Poussard and the Sooners. He'll win it back to Joy. Joy now moving over a big clap bomb. That was Giamona. It just went wide. Now back to Joy. Joy with a little bit of space. Tried to slide one through to Casper, but couldn't. Now moved over to Volo. Over to Giamona. Giamona back. Wilson and Poussard were both in the area. Couldn't tell who the pass was intended for, but Poussard comes out with the puck, leaves it for Volo. Volo takes a step, now back to Wilson. Now up to the point to Poussard. Back over to Giamona. Now to Poussard. Walks along the blue line. Back down to Giamona, who moves from his defensive position down to the red line. Back to Giamona, moves it over to Poussard behind the net, up to Volo.
It's a very interesting power play that they have. They keep flooding one side or the other. Very rare do they leave someone sitting over. They got four skaters always on half the ice each time rather than spreading it out.
Wilson will take it around the circles, moves behind Casper, now moves it backside, wide open shot for Joy. Just a beautiful setup. Wilson to Joy. Casper never had a shot, and I don't think I've seen a goal scored easier than that for Joy. He had time, saw the open net, and just does the right thing just by burying it.
Yeah, again, you could see it was a beautiful flow back and forth, left to right, left to right. They kept flooding the right side, then the left side, but they didn't spread it out. They got the entire Utah defensive core moving left to right, and that's all they did, back and forth 2 times, and that just left the whole back door open, and a turnover right here.
So a turnover off the faceoff. Barnes able to get to it. That's going to be Joy's second point in the night. He had an assist earlier, now getting the goal. Wilson picks up an assist, and I believe Poussard will pick up his third point of the night with an assist as well. Now a 2-on-1 developing for the Utes. It's Meyer. He's got Paolo's shot and a great save. It was a nice fake-out move by Meyer looking for the snipe, but Babb just in good position there with a glove save on Meyer.
Yeah, another super effort by Babb. He's just been he needs to paint an S on the front of his jersey. He has been Superman 2 nights in a row now, just always being in the right place. He is calm as all get out. He's got a bunch of people behind him badgering him, but it doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Meyer won the draw, but it pass intended for Barnes. Now racing in, there's Lara, shot and a great save by Casper. It was Lane who was streaking in with Lara. Great pass, great setup, but a great save by Casper to keep this a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, it's been a kind of a grueling second period. It's taken a little bit of time. There's been a bunch of penalties going on, and there's a lot of chippiness going on the ice right now. Utah doesn't want to back down. They know they're behind, but they just don't. They want to give up the fight, which is the compete level you want to see out of the lads.
So puck being battled between Lieberknight and Boss. Lane's there to help for the Sooners. Now pass intended for Pard in front. couldn't get there. Just 18 seconds left to go in this second period. Utes looking to escape it, and this Topfest fell down, turned the puck over. Just 5 seconds now on the clock, and a good stick check will alleviate the Utah defense as we will go into the third period. Sooners out shooting the Utes 34-17. Your score is 4-1 in favor of the Sooners. So a flurry of goals, a couple of penalties there. We had 20 minutes left to go in this game. How do you think the Utes can climb back into this one, Jay?
Well, again, they've not been able to solve Dab. They haven't been able to solve the power play. They've been getting shots on them, 17 of them so far, but they're not the quality shots in the slot. They're also not getting Dab moving right to left, which is what they're really going to have to do. Just as the Oklahoma Sooners have been able to move Casper left to right. And again, that's no shot against Casper. Casper's got to be able to push off, but he's just seeing too many gray jerseys on one side, and Utah's not picking up the odd man on the back door.
So a couple things to note at the end of the period there. It looks like Perry was kind of skating around, maybe feeling off an injury, and also Navarez exiting the bench there without a helmet on, not even carrying it. So typically get your helmet taken away. That's maybe a serious injury for Navarez, so we'll see if he's back out on the ice for the second period. Hopefully nothing too serious there. So once again, to recap, couple of goals there by the Sooners, extending that lead to 4-1 to end the second period. 20 minutes left to go. We'll see if the Utes can play spoiler here, or if the Sooners take care of business and move on with a sweep of the weekend. Stay with us here for about 15 minutes. We will be back. Thank you for tuning in to the University of Utah Hockey Game Day here on YouTube. All right, folks, welcome back for 20 more minutes of action here at the Salt Lake City Sports Complex. To remind you, the Sooners are in front 4-1, out shooting the Utes 35-17. We look for the Utes to crawl back into this game. Jay, how are they going to do that?
Well, I think what they've got to do is the way they played both of the first periods in this two-game series, where they came out strong and they played a tenacious game. When this team plays with tenacity, they beat Minot, they beat Alabama. They've demonstrated that they are a D1 team. I think one thing that happens to this team, and it's not their fault being an independent and not in a conference. I don't think in the 3 years we've been playing, we've played anybody who's been, Canisius and a few, and those teams we beat. Whenever we play D2, we beat them. So we definitely belong in D1, but it's hard to get some traction when you're constantly playing the top 20 teams for 3 seasons in a row.
Certainly, and for the Sooners, what do you expect to see them with a national tournament bid on the line here? How do you expect them to come out and finish off this 20 minutes?
Well, if I was a coach here, I would certainly be preaching, let's just get out of here with the win. Just keep your sticks in check, keep your mouth in check, keep your, don't run anybody. Let's just make sure that we play a clean period and get out of here without any injuries. Because again, they're gonna the likelihood of getting 4 goals, 3 to tie, 4 to win. That's pretty hard to do in only 20 minutes, especially the way Bab's been playing, beating him. I talked to some of the players that are Utah players that are in injured reserve, and they've been watching him behind the net, and they said he can be jittery. But again, they're just not putting enough rubber on him to make him second guess his moves.
All right, so to recap our scoring, it was Light who opened up the game with the goal assist from Meyer, but ever since then it has been all Sooners. A rundown from them. Pusar had a goal. He's got 2 assists for 3 points. Joy with an assist and a goal. Boss has a goal. Giamona, Volo, and Wilson all with assists, and D'Souza with the goals. So a little bit of offensive prowess coming from everywhere on that Oklahoma Sooners side. As a coach, you got to love it when you can kind of spread the wealth, and as a teammate, you kind of love it when it's point night for the Sooners.
Yeah, and they're getting balanced scoring and secondary scoring, and they've got almost 10 guys in with double-digit points on the year, and they're just padding those here.
All right, so we will reset. It's Meyer on the draw, but he loses it to D'Souza, fired in by White, as Oklahoma will try to set up their offense. Meyer now with the puck, moves it up to Light, but couldn't get it out. White kept it in. Now Meyer picks his pocket, a 2-on-1 developing with some back checkers for the Sooners. Meyer, a nice pass in front there to Lieberknight. Puck kind of jumped up and on Bab there, hit the side of the cage. It looks like the net's off.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good scoring chance. He was able to pick Lieberknight coming in on his left side, and Lieberknight did the right thing. He went for the short side and looking for that tip, and puck was right there. Just unlucky bounce hitting the side and the post rather than the inside of the inside post.
Oklahoma denied the change. The Utes will leave their line out, but Meyer loses the draw. And puck goes back now over to the slot. Barnes lost his footing there, able to regain it outside the play. Barnes now moves it over a little bit behind Light, who will just tap it on where Meyer can corral it. Meyer now moving the puck in, loses it to Boss, or excuse me, that was O'Day. Now White streaking up that left side. He's got some Sooner help with D'Souza, shot, and now Casper hits the net off.
Yeah, and one thing I did see in this first attempt to break out, the Utah defenders finally picked up that sleeper that was in the middle of in the neutral zone. They're both eyeing the jump, and so maybe that's something that they finally picked up at the coaching staff and said, "Look, guys, you got to pay attention. They've been putting somebody behind you all night. Get your head on a swivel."
Jerome will face off against Pusar of the Sooners. As we reset play here, just a minute gone so far. One back to the Sooners. Boss will keep it in. Moves it down to the goal scorer, Pusar, having himself a game with 3 points. And Joy pinches off the puck. Now Pusar a chance in front here. Joy with another chance. A lot of bodies in front, but puck finally comes all the way out. That's light on the forecheck. Now Boss moving in around the net of Casper. Shakes off the defender. Moves it to Joy. Shot out in front. Just goes high. It was 81 Wilson on the shot. But Boss able to keep that puck in. Now a great tape-to-tape pass. That was Boss to, I believe that's Joy, getting his second goal of the game. And the lead is 5-1.
Yeah, this was, maybe they're great because they want to be Sharks, but you could see the Sharks circling on that one. They had a lot of movement. They came around the outside and just sent that puck across. And again, puck watching, leaving a guy open. 5-on-5, you've got to mark your man. You just can't leave somebody that open because there is going to be that cross-ice pass that Casper is going to have to travel, because Casper doesn't know if it's going to go out front, out behind him, or across. And so you just handcuff your goalie if you're not going to pick up the other players.
So it's Boss with the assist to Joy. Joy's second goal of the night, Boss's second point of the night. And it is a 5-1 lead as we reset play. Another chance here for the Sooners. Puck comes around. Giamona's going to be able to keep it in. Moves it from his backhand to his forehand. And can't keep it in.
Yeah, and if you saw that rush into the zone, they're really setting up, as you can see, even they're releasing one of the defensemen, and they've got 4 guys making on the rush. So they do recognize that they need a point spread here, and they are pushing. You don't in a normal game during the season, you probably wouldn't be in a position to activate the defenseman to go live and be an offensive defenseman, but that's what they're doing.
And an icing right here. If you were joined in on the broadcast last night, you would know that we were talking about how much point spread matters in these kinds of games. So you're not going to see Oklahoma lay off the gas here. They need to win as much as the biggest point spread that they can to affect those computer rankings and secure a spot, as they are right on the fringe of a national tourney bid.
Yeah, and although the Utes won't be going to the national tournament, the Utah broadcasting team from top to bottom was the broadcast of choice for nationals last year, and we've been invited back again to go to Dallas. So tune in to the ACHA Division 1, 2, 3, Women's 1 and 2, starting March 21st through the 31st. We'd love to have you join us and watch some fabulous hockey.
Yeah, it's most likely that Oklahoma will be appearing in Dallas there as well, and a pretty close home advantage for them. So now a big scrum here for the third line of the Utes. It's Beery trying to get that puck, but the Sooners are able to break it out. It'll be moved up to Del Casal, receiving it on the backhand, flips it all the way over to the corner to those Zamboni doors. The Sooners elect to change. A nice play there by Jolly to keep the puck in. A centering try goes awry, but kept in. Now it's Pard, and what a rocket of a shot right there. Bad turnover by the Utes. It was Pard, moves it over to White, and White with an absolute snipe. And it looks like Casper's night is done as Jacob Slaw's putting on his bucket, and he's going to come in for relief for the Utes.
You might as well. I mean, he was sick. I'm not sure where his energy level is, and he's been hung out to dry by his defensemen and even his forwards all night. He's got 5 guys in front of him who haven't given him much help. And, time to get his confidence and just let him sit for a little bit. Goalies don't like to come out of these games, but at the same time, it's really better for them because you start to practice not making saves rather than practicing saves when it gets to this level.
So there was a big hit behind the play. Utah Apollo's fairly slow to get up, and now he's got to get on his horse for a foot race of Lane. Now back to Pard, and a penalty coming, and another goal. There's a penalty coming behind the play, but it's going to be 94 Jolly with the goal here as the wheels just absolutely coming off for the Utes.
Yeah, it's to the point now where this could be an interesting 16 and a half minutes left in the game.
Yeah, there was a couple of hits going behind the play. Paolo still a little bit shaken up, and then I think maybe a little retaliation there by Urch. So once again, we saw this last night where the Utes took a penalty, and during the delayed call, there was a goal scored by the Sooners, so it's a double whammy as they will go to the box. It's going to be Urch sitting, and an Oklahoma player is going to be sent to the box too for a hold.
Yeah, this is always tough when you're a referee at this point. You look up at the scoreboard and see what's going on both during the play and behind the play. And your job is not only to referee the game at this point, but the safety of the players has to be a big deal right now, especially when one team's season is done in two games in one period, and the other has a chance to go on to the national tournament down in Dallas.
So 4-on-4 for a minute 45 now, as Urch takes a penalty for an elbow. Giamona gets called for a holding. And now it's Boss kind of lightly tapping it around, but Meyer's going to win the foot race there. Tries to move it over to Navarez. A good shot, but Babb in perfect position just knocks it aside casually. Navarez trying to work against the defenders. It was Jolly trying to look for a stretch pass. Now Meyer looking back door. He had Light, but just a little bit too far. Light with a good spin move to miss Jolly, and now number 14, Lane, will reset, moves it D to Boss. They got Pard. They'll leave it out to Pard, who got the assist on one of those last goals.
Lots of open ice out there.
Kept in here by Light, as Pard and Light will go in towards the boards. A little bit of a scrum involving 3 players aside. Puck comes all the way out to Bastone. Bastone will circle around in his zone. Finds Light with his feet still at the red line. Light's just going to flick it in and elect to change. As that's Jerome giving chase in the offensive zone, and now Boss moving it up, gains the red line. A kick stop by Barnes, leaves it up to Lieberknight. Lieberknight with D'Souza to beat D'Souza. A good play there just to get the stick on Lieberknight. Lieberknight, not much he could do to get around him. Puck goes up and out of play there. 16 seconds remaining on the equal penalties. 14:44 left in this final period of play.
Yeah, it's we've got just under 15 minutes, and then the lads will rest. Then they pick up next weekend. It doesn't get any easier for Utah with Minot coming into town, and Minot, I think, is either 3rd or 4th in their country, and they are always tough. They've unfortunately every year in the national tournament they've gone in highly ranked and have given up a game that they should have won. And they've certainly been the bridesmaid all the time rather than the bride. And
a chance, there's the shot. There was a lot of open net, but thankfully no Sooner in sight as the penalties are finally over. It's Lieberknight with the puck moving along the neutral zone. He's working on White, and instead of trying to make a move, just dumps it in and gets a change. Barnes with a big hit on White. No call there. Barnes skating away, looking a little bit guilty. D'Souza is definitely not happy about it, letting Barnes know with a couple of stick taps to the wrists. And
too many men on the ice.
Too many men call.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, you can't do
Sooners.
that. So looks like Paolo getting checked out on the bench there by the Utah staff. We'll see if he ends up coming back into the game. Barnes with a pretty big hit.
Yeah, Paolo's getting a concussion protocol going on right now. His bucket's off. He might be done.
His night's most likely over.
Yeah, maybe a season too.
As play resets here, it's going to be Meyer corralling the puck. Takes it back into his own zone, getting good chase by Poussard there. And the Sooners forecheck creates a good turnover. Centering try gets blocked by Petrie. A big check there as Navarez's stick goes flying. Now Volo in the Sooner zone, getting chased by Beery. And I believe that's Jerome. Puck goes into the stands there for a lucky little kid. We'll stop play.
Yeah, there's still some action going on over there. Again, got 4 Zebras on the bench, and none of them are watching the benches, which is kind of ill-advised by them at this point in the game. They've got to start watching these benches and these line changes because there's a lot of bumping going on, people trying to get on and off the ice.
4th line out here for the Utes. Sooners looking for that stretch pass, just elect to kind of play it softly along the boards, but now Wilson corrals it. He moves it over to the goal scorer, Poussard. Poussard works in, couldn't get it in. A Utah man without a stick. That's Bastone now giving chase behind the net.
Yeah, he got slashed out of his hand, no call.
And the Sooner player moving the stick out of the zone, so Bastone looking for his stick, and play gets stopped. I believe it's going to be an offside call.
Yeah, you got to be really careful when you move another stick. You're just supposed to go in because you can get a penalty for that. You're not supposed to actually do what the lad just did. You're supposed to leave the stick and play around it. You cannot pick it up. You can't push it. You can't take it away from the player. And again, it's I think right now everybody's head is out of the game itself and trying to seek retribution for everything going on behind the scenes and in the play.
Finch with a good shot there. Nice save by Casper as the Sooners will set up for an offensive zone draw. Good win for them. A shot by Wilson gets blocked by Lieberknight. As the Utes give chase, it's sent around. Petrie trying to get there, can't win the foot race. There's White with a good shot. We've seen a couple of electric goals from him this weekend. And now,
and that's Slaw again in net after to wrap up this game.
So now
there's a big hook, not called.
Meyer moving in, gets his pocket picked by Wilson. Excuse me, that was Finch. And now Meyer with a 3-on-2 chance developing with Finch on the back check. He's just going to circle around, can't really find anybody. Pass to Light. Meyer goes off for a change. Light now. A good drop pass there to Bastone. Shot in front. There was a couple of bodies, but nothing could get through to Bab, as Finch will play it on opposite of Slaw. As the Sooners change, Utes looking to break out. Stretch pass for Oblin, just making sure the puck gets deep. Now Bab will play it on along the backhand to Jolly, who will slap it up. Kept in by Barnes for just a second, but ends up coming out to Oblin. Oblin to Bastone. Bastone lost his feet, turned it over. The Sooners need to touch up, so they'll go backwards with it. They'll go D to D. That's Volo. Now over to Lane. Lane, nice pass in the middle there to Finch. Going in. Can't get the shot off, but now back out to Pard, and a shot and a good save by Casper. So a good series for the Sooners, but some good goaltending by Casper. Just Slaw. 11-12 left in the third period here. Shots now 42-22 in favor of the Sooners.
Yeah, they're just peppering away. They're getting some easy shots. Those first 2 periods, they've done really good at generating time and space, but that's sort of disappeared now, and they're having difficulty giving the Sooners way too much room to come charging down the ice.
So icing by the Utes' third line will be an offensive zone draw for Pard, Lane, Volo, and Jolly on the ice for the Sooners. And Prouty getting some playing time as well on that right defensive spot. Petrie moves out behind Slaw. Pass intended for Beer, he couldn't reach it. Now Jolly with the puck. He's gonna skate in with a little bit of speed, working on Barnes. Barnes goes for the check, but Jolly keeps his feet for a second. Now all the way back out. That's Prouty, shot directed in front, shot scores. We're gonna give this one to Jolly. There was a bunch of bodies in front, but I believe the shot from Prouty ended up on Jolly's stick. It is an 8-1 contest right now. The Sooners just blowing the doors right off of the Utah Skating Utes team.
Yeah, we might not be able to use the word contest anymore. This is a little bit of a tilted ice. The second and third period here certainly tilted in favor of the Sooners. the Utes are constantly skating uphill.
So that's going to be Jolly's second goal. This play resets. It's O'Day returning to his feet, moves it back behind the net. It's Boss. Boss with a little bit of speed. He's going to flip it all the way up. Cross ice. Bastone grabs it, throws it down. It's going to be a hand pass.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a fast-moving game. These two teams actually have some speed, and that's been fun to watch. It's been action up and down, but it's been a downhill game all day or all night for the Sooners. They're a good-looking team. It'll be fun to see them if they close out the season here and make it to the national tournament.
Yeah, so as Matt Coma, our announcer here in the arena, comes over, Jolly is going to get his second goal of the night. So a couple of Sooners here with the chance for the hat trick. Hunter with a nice play to throw off a defender. This fourth line out for the Utes. It's O'Day moving the puck up to Lara. He's got O'Day now going to the net. Puck comes back out to the slot. No one there, and a terrible turnover by Hunter and a big try by Giamona just off the heel. Didn't get much on it. Puck now back down in the corner. Couple of players battling for it. Moves up to Boss. Boss now back to O'Day. O'Day with some nice footwork or stick work there. Now to the stick of Hunter. Hunter tired. He's going to send it down. Bab's going to bail him out for no icing. Moves it up with a stretch pass to D'Souza. Now with Lara, drops it back to his teammate D'Souza, number 88. His pass goes through the slot and picked up by Lieberknight. Bounces it off the boards a little bit too far for Light. Now picked up by Wilson of the Sooners. He'll have it moved back to him and looking for a stretch pass here. Finds his man, but a good defensive play by the Utes. He was looking for Wilson. Wilson with a big slap shot just to the side of Slaw and then hits the back of the cage. Now Utah looking to break out. It's Meyer. Meyer just flips it up and into the rafters, so we're going to get a stoppage of play here at 8:45.
Blocker side of Slaw there, and again, that was actually a pretty good idea. You're not going to get an icing. You're just going to loft that puck and drop it into the neutral ice. But just a little bit too much energy on that, and then went all the way and touched the ceiling.
Meyer wins the draw to Light. Light's able to get it out and working in on White, who stuffs him at the blue line. Now Meyer slapping at it, ends up on Lieberknight's stick. Tried to leave it for Meyer. Now up to Light. Light shot redirected in front, and Bab with a great save off the redirected shot. No clue how he saw that one, but it remains a 7-1 lead, and a blown tire here. A nice move, and that was Poussard with the pickpocket looking for his hat trick tonight, but a good recovery there. It was, I believe that was Bastone who blew the tire. Stretch pass here for Light, hits his backhand and just stops right there. Can't use that momentum to break into the zone as Petrie will now go around the referee. Lost the puck, and a chance here for the Sooners. Pass comes up, and a good save by Slaw from the shot from Volo.
Well, we've got 7:53 left in this final period and final game of the two-game series with the Sooners. Sooners' first trip here to Utah ever, and they're going to come out of here with 2 games and winning the series.
Puck was dropped even before Barnes was in the bench there. As we reset play, Sooners look like they're rolling out with their third or fourth line here, as they have just dominated every aspect of this weekend.
Yeah, and it's, again, good goaltending performance. Has just
Puck's still loose.
Nope,
Wow, Utes get a break there as the puck was still loose in front, but the play's dead.
Yeah, the referee lost sight of it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bodies in front of Slaw, and it went into all those feet in the stick, and they just ended up having to call it. And when he loses sight of it again, for safety reasons, he's got to stop the play and call it.
Utes will win the draw. Puck is chipped up and along the boards and out. Right now, just a barrage of shots coming by the Sooners. They're out shooting the Utes 43-23 here. A couple goals in this final period of action has really just made this a one-sided game as puck gets chipped but not out. And now play will circle around, moves it back up. It's Volo, moves it to the captain, De Casal. Moves it across ice to Bem. Now Meyer with the puck, still not out. Young now looking for it. He'll just chip it along. Del Casal, and moved into the corner. Play comes up to Boss. Boss is just going to flip it around to the other side. Now Young chasing after it. He'll send it down to the Zamboni doors to Del Casal, and he's met with a couple of Utes. Now Young centering try into the feet of the Utah player, and he just sends it right into the stands there. And a big cross check here, and tempers are starting to flare. These guys are going at it. It's Top Fest and Baum. They're going to need to be separated. So it's Top Fest and Bem trying to go at it. The linesman trying to step in the way. We'll see what the penalties are called. Just 6:24 left in the game. I know tempers are flaring from that Utah side, but you want to make sure that you're at least eligible for these next couple of games.
Yeah, you don't want to get tossed. You want to get all that ice time you can going into nationals, but yeah, it's, you know, neither side wants to back down, and that's exactly what you want to see. You don't want somebody to just give up, and the Ute players certainly have a little bit of pride here, getting crushed in their own building.
So as you heard there from our head referee, it's going to be 2 10-minute misconducts, and it looks like both players will be escorted to the dressing room with only 6:24 left in this contest.
No, Bam's going to leave. Toughest wants to sit and watch his team play. He's,
guess it's personal preference for those guys. So Bam will hit the showers early with a big W for his team. He has no care in the world. And Top Fest.
Yep. They're gonna let him stay.
They're gonna let him stay. He's looking to Coach Hurst to see if he should go or not. Beery with a big cross check on Boss. And Beery's not able to get it back out. It's Lane who will keep it in. And he gets his pocket picked by Meyer, who moves it out to Beery. Beery just not quick enough to get that puck deep. Lane with a good shot, but Slog glued to the post there will catch it right into the chest. And now Top Fest being escorted to the locker room as well.
Yeah, it's probably smart. You don't need him to come out of the box and get back on the ice after the game. It's his night's over. Send him to the showers.
Yeah, surprising that the refs wouldn't send him earlier, but we will proceed. So the Utes win that face-off. It's Petrie moving up. Petrie cuts across that block U, now makes it through the red line, but not much further than that. And now a 2-on-1 developing. It's Lane. Lane has Finch moving in and a good sliding block there. Or excuse me, he had Jolly moving in with them looking for his hat trick as well. Barnes now giving chase on Pard. Pard loses the puck. Hunter just moves it back to Hauser. Now Barnes and Pard mixed up in it. They're having a wrestling match as Pard will take down Barnes. The linesman getting in. Certainly this will most likely be 2 guys sent to the locker room as well with misconducts once this gets separated.
Yeah, it's didn't take long. It's for whatever reason when the people come into this barn, they always leave a little agitated.
Yeah, this Utah hockey team is known to really never give up. They play a physical game. They certainly take a lot of penalties. We've been no stranger to sitting in the box here. So Barnes escorted off. Pard is escorted off. He leaves with 1 point on the night. Beery's going to the box to possibly sit for Barnes.
Yeah, we'll see who they put in the box for.
So Beery gets a 10-minute misconduct as well, most likely for some choice words to the refs. He's still talking. He's very passionate as he's only got 2 games left in his hockey career.
Yeah, he certainly has always been that guy who he likes to play with an edge to him all the time. And you can always see he's one of the guys that I've always finishes his checks. He will never pass up an opportunity to continue to go through the player.
So play will reset here. Looks like the Utes.
Yeah, they got to put 2 minutes up for Beery.
Yeah, and Hunter's going to go to the box to sit.
Yep.
And it looks like the Sooners will send over Lane to sit for their penalty.
I don't remember if Lane was on the ice, though.
I'm not quite sure either, but they were. Those are for the holding penalties that ejected Barnes and Pard.
A cross-check to Light.
Yeah, at the end of this game, you just want to see guys getting out of here safe. It's pretty contested right now. These teams definitely don't like each other. As Lieberknight now with the puck, he'll just move it softly into D'Souza, who will move it along the boards to Lara. Lara just flips it up and out of the zone. And Lieberknight now, the sauce intended for Navarez. Light working in all by himself. He's able to remain the puck through all those players. Now passes over to Navarez. Navarez stops, shot gets blocked up. Big slash there from D'Souza. No call. He slashed the stick of Lieberknight. Fans wanted a call, but the refs looking like they're trying to get out of here. Now Odlin. Odlin moves up. Has no help really. He gets pitched off the boards right there with a hit from Boss. Boss now moving up the puck. A 3-on-2 developing the other way for the Sooners. Now Lara with a good shot and a better save by Slaw into the catching glove.
Yeah, it's Slaw's having another opportunity here tonight to show what he's capable of. He's always been a very good positional goalie. Just not sure he's played enough minutes at this speed in order to round out his skills. But it's really looking good that we've got Patrick, Mock, and Slaw all coming back next year. If we get a 4th one to join the crew, then you've got a really good goaltending setup, and we'll have a lot of experience coming into the 2019-2020 season.
So Meyer will take the draw once again, logging a lot of minutes for the Utes tonight as a big check there.
Yeah, that's a check from behind.
That's Joy who took Odlin into the boards. We'll see what the refs decide to call here, if it's going to be 2 or 5 or 10. Pretty big hit there from Joy from behind on Odlin.
Yeah, he's trying to plead his case that Odlin turned into him at the last minute.
It's just going to be a minor penalty for boarding. I think that's the correct call. So yep. Joy will sit. He's having himself a game with an assist and 2 goals. Some of the 2 really, really nice setups on Joy's goals.
Yeah, and when we came into the contest last night, that's what we were talking about, that Joy was the player to watch. He's got the most, he's number 2 in points, but he's got the most in penalty minutes, most assists, and he had a tough night last night, and tonight he's showing what he's capable of.
And so he'll be an interesting person to watch for this Sooners team, leading them into the national tournament as Meyer here tees up a shot, scores. So Brett Meyer with a shot from the block U, just a low line drive slap shot. And it's going to be Joy released from the box after that. So his stay in the sin bin wasn't very long, and Meyer, the leading scorer for the Utes, is able to add to the point total. And it's 8-2 now.
Yeah, I think it's a really good sign again of the compete level, and that they just there's still members of this team that want to be able to play this game at a high level, and they're showing it right now.
And now an offensive opportunity as the puck intended for Poussard was a little bit too hot, but now he's got a chance here, moves it to Light instead of his intended receiver. Puck comes out, 4 seconds on that matching penalty. So the Hunter and Lane, who are sitting for Barnes and Pard, are both back out. So 5-on-5 here. As Lieberknight now working in towards Babb. Pass intended for Light was nowhere near him. As now Wilson puts on the brakes, and he's got Finch to his left. Wilson fakes the slap shot, comes in, elects to take it into the corner. Now he's going to move it up to the defender. Lieberknight was able to...
You're going to wave off
They're
icing.
going to wave off the icing. Lieberknight moved it all the way down as Babb came out to play it. As that's Boss now moving up the puck on that left side. Tries to cut in the middle, but Odlin with some good defense with help from Jerome. Puck gets flipped up into the air. And now that's Jolly trying to loosen the puck. A shot from the point by Boss, but a pad save, and this one's going to go down. Babb's going to play it again to keep play moving here. Stretch pass intended for Boss, gets tipped on and back down to the quarter there. That's Verdi. And puck turned over. Another chance here for the Sooners, and just moved out, thankfully. And Babb again with the stretch pass intended for Boss. Now he's out of position, gets back quickly, and a shot just off the side there. Was a good defensive play by Prouty to get back there, and Babb got back into the crease there. Just 2 minutes left remaining in this blowout.
Yeah, I like the class of Babb here, that he's been moving that puck.
Certainly.
He could certainly hang on to it or call the icing, but he knows he's got to get it out of here with a win. He knows he sees what's going on the ice with all the battling in front, and I think we'll see again. He's showing that he's
the
not only a
intelligence,
good, not only a good goalie, but class act.
As the shot gets into the feet there and just turned aside, as a big check there by number 10, that's Young. And Del Casal now just flipping it in. Just over 60 seconds to play in this final period as the puck comes out to Giamona. He'll flip it on to Lane. Lane moves it up to Joy. Now to O'Day, trying to find Joy but can't. And Giamona flips it along to Lane. Lane to O'Day. His first line working for the Sooners. O'Day, wraparound chance, goes up to Giamona, shot off of the right knee of Joy. Now he moves it back to Giamona. Giamona looking for a redirect from O'Day. Puck comes out to Lane. Lane now to Volo with some space and a good catching glove save by Slaw.
Yeah, I think, again, if you look at going down this roster, when you've got 3 returning goalies, you got Paulo, you've got Lieberknight, you've got Urch, Light, Jerome, Kinslow, Baston, Tautfest, Adlan, Dibatero, Verde. I mean, there's just a lot of kids coming back that are really going to help this team. It's a little good recruiting by Coach Hurst this summer, and we'll put another season together, 4th season into D1.
The shot by O'Day is gloved down by Slaw again, and like you're saying, yeah, there is definitely a wealth of talent by this rookie class, and a lot of guys who had to step up due to injuries to a lot of the senior class. Lieberknight done pretty early in the year. Captain Alex King out with a shoulder injury for the year. He's got a timetable of a couple of weeks till he's back at full strength. So certainly a lot to look forward to if you are a Utah fan from this rookie class as time ticks away in this final period of play. Final shot count is 43-23. Not quite sure how accurate that is. I would guess maybe 10 more, maybe per side, but the final score is really what matters. It's going to be Oklahoma sweeping the Utes at home with a 6-1 victory last night, an 8-2 victory last night. Those point margins really important for number 16 Oklahoma, and it looks like with this sweep, they may have just punched their ticket to Dallas for a national championship run. So with 1 weekend left on the Utes schedule, they will host Minot. How do you think that the Utes can gear up and come out to play against the number 3 or 2nd or 3rd ranked team in the country in Minot University?
Well, Minot, they actually went, they got smoked in the first game in Minot earlier this year, and then They played so well. It took a game off of Minot. I think even Minot was surprised at what happened. It was pretty incredible that they walked into as a visitor, and they just played smart hockey that weekend, and that's what they need to do this time. And you've seen really moments of brilliance, but then you also see when they start to clutch the stick a little bit, the whole idea of team and the whole idea of a system just seems to evaporate. Everybody wants to be a hero. It's hard to win a game when everybody's playing. It's a team game.
Yeah. And looking at it from the other side with this Oklahoma team, if they are to make nationals, what do you expect from them to make a run as a lower seeded team?
Oh, they're going to have to rely on BAB because they are going to be lower seeded, which means they're going to have to play. They're going to have to play a Minot, Lindenwood, a Liberty, and Adrian. And having watched that tournament last year, what's fun about it is if you've watched an NCAA game at any time, it's really good hockey. It has to be. I mean, that's the pathway to the NHL. But it's a skill game, a skating game, and a passing game, not a physical game. When you watch the ACHA team, you've got to remember these are players that came out of juniors. They're 21 to 26 years old. They play like junior teams. There's a physicality that you've never witnessed before. It's really exciting hockey, and if anybody wants to watch how a junior team would play for these kids that are never going to play again in their career and at that physical level and at that high level, it's absolutely incredible. I encourage everybody to turn to the national tournament and watch those D1 games.
Yeah, this Oklahoma team will be a fun team to watch, as well as the rest that will make that tournament. So to recap, Oklahoma stealing another game here tonight, 8-2 victory for the Utes. It was Meyer and Light, the two top point scorers of the year, getting goals for the Utes. 9 different players of Oklahoma finding the score sheet, whether it would be goals or assists, guys with multiple points on the night, so a pretty conclusive win for Oklahoma. Next week, come check us out last week for the Utes. So if you're listening, you can be able to be at the game. We'll send off the seniors on Saturday night. No Barnes, maybe a couple of other guys that you will see out here on senior night. So if you can be here, we would love to see you. If not, we would love to hear you tuned in and involved in the Utah hockey broadcast live on YouTube. For Jay Sewell, I am Ryan Jones. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to us tonight. We will see you next week. Thank you so much, and go Utes.